MV3 Traders Futures Trade Radio is brought to you by The Ultimate Trader's Guide, your one-stop shop for the most valuable income-producing information on the internet. Go to ultimatetradersguide.net to learn more. Link in the description below. Alright, what's going on? What's going on? How we doing? Mic check. Make sure I'm good today. Everything sounds good. Bit of an interesting sell-off. Was selling, I should say. I don't necessarily call that a sell-off, but we did have some selling strength during like the Asian hours, which we have retraced about 3/4 of that. As I look at my 30-minute, I got some technicals up there that we're kind of front running. And we did catch some more supply off the PR low. And now we're back inside the bear zone. Interestingly though, the last time I checked in the other indices, they were trading inside of their neutral zone. I think maybe RTY and a couple of other ones may have been somewhat bullish, but a little bit different in terms of how they printed. They're kind of just shared the same sentiment, but it's a slight difference. So it's an interesting point of awareness. About 10 seconds before the open. I am testing, got a little something that I'm testing out this morning, to where I was not too long ago, well, I don't know how long ago it was, but I did, before I posted a video about trying to trade through Rhythmic. Even though you have like multiple accounts, but they're all going through Rhythmic, and trying to trade through Rhythmic with multiple Sierra chart installs at the same time on your computer, right, on the same machine. And I got a comment yesterday that kind of triggered a thought to, since now that Apex has their own Rhythmic server, I wonder if I can trade Apex and then another Rhythmic account, which is this one's going to be earned to trade, on the same machine at the same time, just on 2 different Sierra chart installs. So I'm trying that out this morning. Still, that's not going to change how I trade anything. That's just something to be aware of as I see how that plays out. And that mechanical supply response off of automation. Still mechanically moving this price around, even though we got a lot of participation this morning. Strong volume in relation to what we've seen over the past few weeks. I may not do a whole lot of like narrating this morning. I want to make sure I stay focused on what I'm here to do. I focus on my execution. Coming back into that inventory around 105. So NQ is still showing some sell strength. We're back and forth right now. Got this little tennis match going on. The price action is telling us that that was an interesting print from it. And we got a little more strength from the buy side, but let's see how that plays out. It took us back above VWAP. Slight lift of supply. So we're starting to, didn't really lift inventory yet, but we are starting to lift supply. Doing a bit of budgeting at MSRP. That was a mechanical reaction right there for this dip that we just saw. To the tick right off of that MSRP level. Back below automation. So far we're kind of hovering automation. Earlier supply response right off of what is that, 110? So we did get an inventory we're starting to see an inventory lift. Got a couple of supply points, one at 136. Now we are seeing, we did just create another supply point off of automation around right where we are right now. And so above that we got 136, and then right around 150, 144 to 150. Nice little tennis match we got going on. Shop within the shop, we did lift inventory a bit more. Shot right through that one supply area that I mentioned. That wasn't a strong supply area, it was like some quick supply. See if we make it back to 144, and then we got the top of that supply range is at 150-ish. Quit budgeting and MSRP or negotiating. Staying pretty mechanical to the supply up here. We're in a very noisy area. I would like for it to kind of pull away from this area personally.
Order filled. Order filled.
Cut that one quick. I did see the kind of mechanical response, but that did work out. So I was able to trade in Apex and earn the trade at the same time. On the same machine with these two different Sierra chart installs. Good, good. I want to make sure to give myself sort of a verbal mental note to replay that area right there, because the way that that printed, not gonna lie, I wasn't 100% focused on it because I was more so thinking about if I got filled everywhere. But the way that that printed when I exited, or when I took the position, I would have got stopped out before this actual moved if I would have been 100% disciplined. But I took the scalp based off the mechanical response that would have led to the stop out. And if I wasn't so focused on the difference between, or looking at this whole rhythmic thing, then I actually probably could have saw the second entry. So I could have, yeah, so anyway, I'm just putting a mental note to myself. When I go back and review this, I can hear this, and then I know what I need to be looking for once I'm doing my review and watching my game film. So once again, we're getting a supply response off of automation. Automation's around 130 currently. Of course, that dip right there is going to bring automation down. Quick automation right above 100. So we do have some historical inventory below us, all the way down to around like 1140. Right now we're kind of trending. Just kind of watching to see how long this can last.
Order filled. Order filled.
Continuing to chop around that slightly lifted supply. To about 105. Actually gonna have to replay this later because messing around with Sierra chart last night, I see I kind of messed up. Changed my trade window for this. Just means I can't see where I've executed already for the recording. It's like we're about 30 points away from the session low. Wouldn't surprise me to see a front run of inventory before, if we do make it, near the session low.
Order filled. Order filled.
Interesting budgeting inside of, or when negotiating inside of that automation zone. Quick supply response at 95. Stalling for some inventory inside of automation. We're at a point where we could be beginning to enter into some markup. Also, this could kind of be some early front run, but it is a little bit early for some front run. One on the strong supply hunt. Taking the elevator. Brief pause in the momentum. Got MSRP above us below 120. Was a swinging low off of 115. I have an indicator, a study that I'm using that shows the swings. It didn't mark that off though. Another mechanical inventory response off of automation. Budgeting down here, potentially creating this inventory zone. Which, yeah, that's what ended up happening. Came into the awareness of that a few ticks before it actually happened. Main supply, so we got the supply zone here from, I would say 108 to 115-ish. Starting to lift that back to MSRP, getting a mechanical response as we negotiate around 116. I'm gonna be patient before I look for my next move. So we're in this markup phase, and we're starting to really catch some momentum from our buyers. See up here where we had this, an area interest or volume around 152. Front ran that for our quick supply. Quickly lifting supply back to PR -1. We haven't been there since before the open. It's a good time to say this, that's on my mind. So like last night, I was kind of had like a late night last night, to where I was looking for a study in Sierra chart that I can use to kind of automate drawing out a horizontal line based off the highs and the low of the bar. For some reason, Sierra chart doesn't have this as like a default study. You gotta kind of be somewhat creative to create something like it. But I mean, there's really nothing like it. The closest thing that I could find was to study the swing low, swing high study. That's not the exact name of it, but it is swing high and swing low study. The problem with that though, you can use it kind of to do that sort of thing that I was trying to do. Not 100%, but the problem with it is it's kind of noisy. More noisy than I want it to be. So I may get to a point where I will actually have to learn C++ and start coding some of the stuff myself to create some custom studies. And I could just pay for it, but I actually want to learn this myself anyway. So this could be the motivation, get me to focus in on it. I have a couple custom study ideas in mind. So we zoom out and look at the big picture. Say since the London session, we've been just, from a wholesale perspective, just collecting inventory up until recently, the last couple of minutes, to where now we're trying to capitalize off of all the inventory that we collected. Of course, we were budgeting and selling off some of that inventory along the way, so we can reach our goals efficiently. And still lifting supply. Starting to slow things down a bit. But right now we're still in this markup phase. It's been a while since we touched automation. Continuing to lift supply. I guess it's somewhat predatory. So I was just thinking this is a good time this is where the predator formula would be very useful. Understanding the probabilities around your strategy and how you like to execute versus what the market does, what the market typically does, or how our predator shows up. So as a point of awareness, we crossed over into B period about 2 minutes ago. back at the supply, and we're gonna lift it one more time. Taking the stairs somewhat, doing it in a way to where we're trying to build liquidity. So we could be doing it in a way to build liquidity for the budget, or we're trying to set up for the next big move. Finally got a supply response that actually took us back to inventory. It's also brought us back to automation. Let's see, we flipped the script, or is this just a brief rest stop? It did take us back inside of the power range, where we did have a gap in volume. There's a lift of supply. Yep, so that was just a pit stop. We're going to continue on along the journey. Now, from a 3-minute perspective, we're showing a nice little bullish rally. However, we zoom out, we're not out of the bear trend quite yet. And then from that open, relative to where we are now, we do kind of have a, how can I explain this? We have this wide hour range spread. It's not really, it's bigger than the volatility that we're seeing right now, the current volatility. So just from a power range perspective, we still got a ways to go before we actually officially flip the trend from a bigger picture. Looking at the bigger picture, on a micro scale, we've been trending long for a while, and we're it's getting more there. You know, wholesale is getting as much as they can out of this at this point. I would say almost in a way of kind of repositioning and setting up for whatever they have planned next, or whatever their goal is next. Of course, all of this is just my opinion. Got to throw this disclaimer in here. Of course, none of what I'm saying is trading advice. Make your own decisions. Great trades come from within. At that inventory lift right at automation, we're kind of negotiating around here at 180. So we're starting to, we dipped or dropped inventory. So far, that's not with that much. We don't have that much energy as we go looking for cheaper inventory. I was starting to pick up some energy. There was a quick supply response off of 180, which was previous quick inventory. Back to PR -1. Picked up some inventory off that area. Off of 160. Starting to gain some momentum back off of our buyers.
Order filled.
Might be my last position for today. It gave me a quick scalping opportunity, and I just went ahead and took that. I only got 2 more minutes, well, less than 2 minutes at this point for the rest of my trading session, my trading window. And that last play, like before that, I was kind of been a little bit more disciplined to the plan that I had. But that last one, I kind of made an adjustment off the hand that they revealed. Sometimes it's necessary to, if you notice something, let me speak to myself. If I notice something, I have got to this point to where I either make an adjustment to what I've noticed or what they're showing, or I just, if it's not in alignment with my strategy and the way that I trade, then I either make that adjustment or I just step away and just popcornize it until I see the environment that I want. We're kind of choppy today. Which I use the terms negotiating and budgeting to as different degrees of that choppiness. So today I did have to make some adjustments. Yep, Origin says you hold the frequency and it manifests as growth with your movement. 100%. So I have across my trading window. Do got this did see a quick supply response off of that 190 zone. So we got the shop area around here, right here at kind of playing around with the supply and inventory, key supply and inventory zones, so we can look at inventory as a sort of a range between, I'm just gonna say roughly 174 to about 169, and supply is roughly 188 to about 195. That's some general points, but we're just playing around with those zones, so that's gonna be more dynamic. Cause I expect that to keep, them to, continue to pull from those areas as much as they need to, which means it's not gonna be, it's not gonna stay the same. They can lower it, lift it. Give us the kind of print that, where it would make sense to make an adjustment or just to sit on the sidelines, depending on, your comfort level. So a way to summarizing that, they're showing us how dynamic this environment can be, which is why it could be important to, as retail or just as a participant, period, to be as flexible as you possibly can. Now we're back into that supply zone. Now we're really starting to lift the supply with some energy. So hindsight capital would say that we use this inventory zone to pick up to budget and to pick up as much cheap inventory as we can, right? Not in a black and white sort of fashion. We picked up some inventory, sold a little bit of it off, picked it up just to stock our warehouse as much as we possibly can, so that once we quote unquote go to market, now we can capitalize as much as we're looking to. So we're coming up to our session high. The way this has been working out, I wouldn't be surprised to see a front run. Of course, that doesn't mean that has to happen. What I'm saying is it wouldn't surprise me. They could run the stops here and really, and take us deeply into a new session high, or they could do what they're doing right now, which is bringing us back inside of that previous range, that previous, it's not necessarily a shop, it's more like a kiosk, where we did pick up some quick supply and inventory, and this 10-point range here from 200 to 210. Peeked our head inside of that. Now that is serving as inventory. And it just becomes a question of how long do they hold it as such. Now we're making our way back inside of that kiosk. Trying to stay on the theme of wholesale, using these, these what's the word? There's another word I'm looking for. Like these. I don't know why it's not coming to me, but like these wholesale terms. It's not the word I wanted to use. I wanted to use something else. Whatever. Yeah, I want to use these terms that we're more, so the way that we understand like a retail chain type of market that we're more familiar with, because a lot of times we're just as looking at the whole body of all the participants in this environment. When the financial markets are talked about, and when I hear retail traders, and I even started out this way myself, kind of, not 100%, but we look at these financial markets as something different than let's say, a market for produce, right? Or a market for, anything else that you can buy on the economy. But they're all the same. They all operate and they function the same. So I want to kind of reinforce that understanding that all of these markets are the same. I use the same terminology that you would use in any other market from the wholesale perspective. Because wholesale, their product is inventory. They don't really create the product, but they facilitate the product. So that's the ideology around my use of these terms when I'm talking about trading. I kind of wanted to take another. I got a few pieces of content that I've already talked about this stuff, and I already made these connections. And I just posted that to mv3trader.com for anyone that's like, I posted most of the stuff as a blog post over there to where I have the videos, and then I have the write-up that I did. The main pieces of content that talks about my perspective of wholesale and how I'm actually showing that these markets are the same. But I'm showing it from the wholesale perspective. Which, for most people, you should be able to take that and relate it to their end on the retail perspective. That's how it makes sense to me. And plus, me studying, I kind of mentioned this before in another video. I probably talked about this a lot, but it helps also that I was studying or learning about how to different business models and how to run a business and how to, operate business as a wholesaler of a product. So let's say like there's this retail arbitrage thing to where you'll have regular people that will go out and they will find things at a discount, whether it be, electronics like iPhones or whatever they can find at a discount. And then they'll take it to another market and they'll sell it for a higher price, but still cheaper than what you'll find at a store. Or sometimes if you're in this as a retail arbitrager, then you will take that. You can sometimes get lucky and find a customer that's willing to pay higher than what they can go out and find it for themselves at a store, just for convenience. I know sometimes if there's something that I want or something that I need and I see it on the internet where I don't have to leave my house, I don't have to do anything, it's just convenient for me to buy it on the internet, it could be more expensive than if I go to the store and buy it. But I'm going to get off the internet even though it's more expensive because it's just more convenient. So as wholesale, you're in the middle, serving those different needs and those different wants, the supply and the demand. So on that note, we're at the end of my session. I got to do my back office stuff and get all my numbers and do all the things that I got to do. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Appreciate you, Origin, as always. You know what it is. And I'll see y'all tomorrow for the next one. Trade it easy.